Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Sabba Show. And the trade period is now up and running. We've had a couple deals go through. Actually, only one deal, a couple draft swaps as well. But look, I thought it'd be a good idea to talk about Carlton, their off season, and what we need to achieve, what we need to work on, what we need to do this off season, basically until February, March next year. So, yeah, I thought that'd be a good idea. Just have a little talk. But that's about it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to go drop a like and subscribe to the show if you want to see more stuff like this, Carlton related. We may do some live streams in the up and coming weeks. But yeah, anyway, let's just dive right in. Okay, so we've already had a couple things happen this off season. We've obviously got Michael Voss. We've obviously got Aaron Hamill as an assistant coach. We've got Diesel Williams as the director of football, I believe. We also got George Hewitt on the weekend as a part of free agency. I believe he was a restricted free agent. Sydney decided to not match their offer. And I think what we've been able to do this offseason obviously is a very, very good start. It just feels a bit different to past seasons where we've had overhyped recruits come to the club and there's unreasonable expectations on the club. So obviously last year with Sardin Williams, McGovern a couple of years ago as well, obviously he hasn't lived up to the hype, and that's sort of correlated with what really we've done in a season. We haven't done too much damage, nor has Mitch McGovern through his performances. So I think this has a little bit of a different vibe, because what we're doing is, or what I believe we need to do, is we need to work on our continuity. In past seasons, consistency has been lacking, and continuity really helps with that. And, just doing a lot of list turnover is not going to help that cause. So I think what we need to do more is just work on game plan. And what I think is the focal point, or what has to be the focal point of our improvement, it has to be our defense. Quite clearly. I think, I mean, I don't know who says this, but some say, defense is your best offense. And, I sort of agree with that, because, if you can defend well, we've seen teams like the D's, look how well they've been able to defend. They just absolutely destroy in transitions. So we need to have something like that. We've, been proven to have a very dangerous forward line, but that obviously hasn't been consistent enough. But regardless, I think that's where we've got to base it off. We're in a very similar situation to Melbourne as well, in the sense that, underachieving year, finishing outside the top 8. I think the D's finished in the top 8 last season, but, didn't have a sniff. I may be wrong. I'm probably wrong. But, very similar situation, coach under the pump. Obviously, we got rid of ours. They didn't, and look what they've gone on to achieve. But look, I think this is a very good reset that we've been, doing. Let's just talk about our acquisitions just for a moment. George Hewitt, he's a decent sized mid that can play all over the ground. And I think he's going to bring something different in terms of midfield depth, because we've had a lot of midfield depth that is actually playing in the team. I think that suits George Hewitt, because he's played a lot in the Sydney seniors, and he's played a fair portion of the season this season. So I think that as depth, I think he's going to be playing a lot of regular season football for us. Like Jack Nunes, he should not be playing in the team. He's nothing more than a reserves player, but he's in the team. I think George Hewitt has the ability to be a depth piece, as well as play in the best 22 and have an impact as well. He's had some very good games this season. And let's not forget to mention that he usually tags someone like Sam Walsh. So that's one less person that Sam Walsh has to deal with. So I don't know if that was thinking when they got George Hewitt, but, nonetheless, I think this is a very sensible signing. And we look at the acquisitions of Voss, Hamill. We also got Tim Clark today. And who have I forgotten? Someone else that I mentioned earlier. But they were all tough nuts in their playing careers. So I think that's going to bring, a bit of grit and toughness to the playing group. Something we really lacked, You know, for the majority of the season, there were times where we'd just be too soft. You know, not enough tenacity there, not enough being first to the footy. There were a lot of issues surrounding all that, and I think that these acquisitions will help instill, you know, a mindset that will get the best out of the players in terms of, you know, being tenacious and being determined and not being scared to go in for the ball. And let's just look forward to see what we should be looking for. I mean, let's talk about players that have been in the rumour mill. Adam Cerra, obviously. I think there's been talks. Pick 6, a future second rounder in exchange for Cerra and a future third rounder. I think that's a great deal for us. I'd be really happy if that deal went through. Because, look, I mean, Fremantle have wanted our pick 25. But look, I think we'd be pretty sensible to hold on to it, because a future second, you never know, that could really lose its value, especially if we do well. So I think we're going to be paying, you know, I think it's a fair price to pay. But regardless, we take Cerra any day. You know, he's a really poised midfielder. He's got a very good kick on him. Sam Walsh is a bit of both. He's a bit, you know, a bit of a tough nut. That's not saying Cerra isn't, but Walshy, we've seen how much of a, you know, hard-nosed midfielder he is. And he's obviously got the skill and the poise. And then you've got Cripper with, you know, he's a big body. He's huge. He's a key forward in the midfield. So we've got all three elements there. And then you got Matt Kennedy to also complement Cripps if Cripps goes forward. There's a lot of things we can do. I honestly think that we didn't need a lot of, you know, team shake-up stuff. I don't think we need to get rid of anyone unless we really had to. And we've seen that with Samo as well. Let's talk about him. Sam Petrevski-Seton talks he's gone for a late draft pick, which is really a shame considering we got him a pick 6, and he probably is so much talent stuck in here, and he's never been able to, you know, put it out on a football field because he's never gotten continuity in his proper position. And somehow I don't think he's going to get that at West Coast either. It's just like, there's also been talks of Jared Brander coming to Carlton. I can't see him. If he wants a bigger role, he's not going to get it at this team, I don't think. That is, of course, you know, unless he's the replacement for Jack Nunes, please. But yeah, with Samo, yeah, look, if he wants to go home, it's not worth, you know, letting someone who doesn't want to be here stick around. So he can go. He obviously, like, his effort was pretty dismal at times. So look, let's get him out of the club. He seeks a fresh start. Just like, you know, a lot of players that are coming to Carlton. And one position that we always seem to need players for is the tall stocks. The rucks, the key forwards, the key backs. And Lewis Young, he has requested a trade to Carlton, and he, well, I'm assuming they'll facilitate that for a late draft pick. Look, good ruck depth. You know, he's had a bit of experience in the latter stages of the season. Bit stiff to not play in the grand final, or, you know, when it really mattered. But to be honest, I think this is going to be a very sensible signing as well. He can, you know, he's got a lot of versatility in where he can play. He's pretty tall. Obviously his ruck craft needs a bit of improvement, but, you know, we've got plenty of rucks to do that. You know, I mean, when you're losing McGovern, Curnow, Harry, you know, Omak, Murkov, Pitnet, the list goes on. I can just keep on going all day. But if we can get players like Lewis Young in, I mean, that'll help. But it's one thing to get these players in, but you've also got to be conscious, are they injury prone or are they not? It's really pointless if you're going to bring in an injury prone ruckman / you know, key forward. If, you know, they're going to get injured all the time. I mean, we've seen it. And we've had problems with it. So, I mean, the more talls we can get, the better. But hopefully, you know, we can just get them all out on the park at the same time. That is at least the best ones. And speaking of injuries, I think one of the big things we need to improve is our damn high performance, our, you know, conditioning, our, you know, injury management. Just don't be idiots over the off-season. Don't pull a Charlie Curnow. Don't fall down the stairs. Don't fall off a bike. Don't do anything stupid with your BMX. It's as simple as that. You know, I don't want to, see Charlie Kerner get injured in the offseason again. I don't want to see that again. Sam Doherty's cancer is enough. I mean, shout out to Sam Doherty and all the players getting involved in that little cancer awareness, shaving the head kind of thing. I will not be doing that. But yeah, regardless, that's enough. Like, we don't need any more than that. We don't need any more issues. Let's just be sensible over the off-season and just focus on getting out on the park and playing our best football. That's really all I have to say for the moment. Obviously, we'll see if these deals go through, and if it happens, we'll react to it and see what our thoughts are. But yeah, I thought I'd just post this video to, get a little gauge, because we haven't really talked about Carlton for a few weeks now since the Michael Voss news. And thank you to those who have tuned in and shown their support on that video. But yeah, that's about it from me. I hope you enjoyed this one. As I said, make sure to smash a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the show if you want to see more AFL content. We'll probably be doing a stream for the trade period whenever some good deals go through. But yeah, that's about it. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening / day / night. I don't know when this is coming out, but yeah, that's all from me. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace out.